Let's start with our first news. Conor is sending a bold warning ahead of his long-awaited return to the octagon against Max Holloway. While many fans continue to question whether he can still perform at the highest level after such a long absence, Conor has made it clear that he believes he is better than ever. According to him, age is not slowing him down. Instead, he believes he is only now entering his true prime, despite turning 38 in July. During a recent interview, Conor confidently predicted that his rematch with Holloway will end in a completely different fashion from their first meeting back in 2013. Instead of winning by decision, he expects to finish the fight in spectacular style. He described the upcoming contest as an absolute demolition, saying he only needs one clean touch before taking complete control. In his mind, simply getting the victory is not enough. The performance has to be dominant, memorable, and leave no doubt about who the superior fighter is. Conor also pointed to the amount of punishment Holloway has absorbed throughout his career. While he acknowledged Holloway's incredible durability and technical skills, he insisted that they are simply not on the same level. He believes he holds the advantage in every important category, including speed, power, fight IQ, fitness, health, and freshness. Another point Conor highlighted was Holloway's record-setting amount of time spent inside the octagon. Rather than seeing that as an achievement, he argued that it proves Holloway struggles to finish opponents quickly. In contrast, Conor believes elite fighters should end contests before they reach the judges' scorecards. With complete confidence, Conor believes this fight will showcase the best version of himself. He expects a spectacular finish and is determined to prove that he still belongs among the UFC's elite, delivering a performance that reminds everyone why he was once considered one of the most dangerous fighters in the sport. Move on to another news. Charles Oliveira has revealed that he was originally expected to face Conor before the Irish star agreed to fight Max Holloway instead. Speaking about the situation, Oliveira explained that the matchup with Conor was the one many people believed would happen. However, Conor made a different choice, selecting Holloway as his next opponent. According to Oliveira, every fighter has the right to make the decisions they believe will give them the best chance of success, and that is simply part of the business. Oliveira admitted that the decision did not surprise him too much, because fighters are always looking for the matchup that makes the most sense for their careers. Even though many expected him to be standing across the cage from Conor, he understands that opportunities in MMA can change very quickly. One decision can completely reshape the division and create an entirely different path for everyone involved. Looking ahead to the fight between Conor and Max Holloway, Oliveira believes the opening round will be absolutely crucial. In his opinion, the first 5 minutes will reveal exactly how prepared both men are and could ultimately determine the outcome of the contest. He expects Conor to come out aggressively, searching for an early finish before the fight reaches the championship rounds. Oliveira pointed out that Max has built a reputation for maintaining an incredible pace over 5 rounds. After years of competing in long, high-level fights, Holloway has proven that his cardio and movement remain among the very best in the sport. That experience could become a major advantage if the contest extends beyond the early stages. He also noted that Conor has been away from active competition for a considerable amount of time. Because of that long layoff, Oliveira believes Conor must make a strong statement early. If he cannot secure a knockout or completely dominate during the opening round, the momentum could gradually shift toward Holloway. As the fight continues, Max's speed, volume, and endurance may become increasingly difficult to deal with, especially since he will not have the added challenge of a difficult weight cut. Despite pointing out those concerns, Oliveira still showed tremendous respect for Conor and everything he has accomplished throughout his career. He praised Conor for helping transform the sport into a global phenomenon and attracting millions of new fans around the world. Oliveira believes the atmosphere inside the arena will be electric, creating a memorable night regardless of the final result, as two of the sport's biggest names prepare to share the octagon once again. Move on to another news. Jorge Masvidal is going against the odds and backing Kamaru Usman to defeat Du Plessis in their highly anticipated showdown on July 18th. While many believe Du Plessis enters the fight as the clear favorite, Masvidal has a completely different opinion. He remains convinced that Usman is still one of the most dangerous fighters in the division and believes people are seriously underestimating what the former champion is capable of. Speaking during a recent interview, Masvidal made it clear that he does not believe Usman is past his prime. In fact, he argued that the criticism surrounding Usman's recent performances is unfair and ignores how competitive he has remained against elite opposition. According to Masvidal, the results alone do not tell the full story of Usman's recent career. Masvidal looked back at Usman's second fight against Leon Edwards and insisted that the former champion was controlling the contest for most of the fight. In his view, Usman was comfortably ahead before suffering the dramatic knockout that changed everything in an instant. While the ending was unforgettable, Masvidal believes that one moment should not erase everything Usman had accomplished during that performance. He also pointed to Usman's fight against Khamzat, which came together on very short notice. Despite accepting one of the toughest possible matchups with limited preparation time, Masvidal believes Usman did more than enough to earn the victory. He feels that many fans scored the contest in Usman's favor and that the close result proved he could still compete with the absolute best fighters in the world. Masvidal also praised Usman's most recent performance, saying he looked sharp, confident, and physically strong. That outing convinced him that Usman remains a legitimate title contender and still possesses all the tools needed to compete at the championship level. When discussing the matchup against Duplessis, Masvidal explained that he believes the reigning champion would have to deliver a near-perfect performance to win. In his opinion, Usman's wrestling, striking, fight IQ, experience, and overall versatility make him one of the most complete mixed martial artists in the sport. Masvidal even went as far as saying that if these two fought multiple times, he believes Usman would win 3 or even 4 out of every 5 meetings. For Masvidal, the former champion still has everything needed to reclaim the spotlight and prove that he remains among the very best in the UFC. Move on to another news. Another change has been made to the UFC roster, as welterweight Carlson Harris has officially been released from the promotion following his latest defeat inside the octagon. The decision comes after Harris suffered a unanimous decision loss to Jake Matthews, a result that extended his losing streak to 3 consecutive fights and ultimately brought an end to his time with the organization. The defeat proved to be a costly one. After putting together several memorable performances earlier in his UFC career, Harris was unable to regain momentum during his recent run. Consecutive losses placed him in a difficult position, and with the competition at welterweight becoming more intense than ever, every fight carried enormous importance. Unfortunately for Harris, he was unable to reverse his fortunes when it mattered most. His bout against Jake Matthews was viewed as a crucial opportunity to stay relevant in the division and strengthen his position on the roster. However, despite showing determination throughout the contest, Harris could not do enough to convince the judges, who awarded Matthews a unanimous decision victory. That result dropped Harris to an even 4-4 record inside the UFC, a mark that ultimately was not enough to secure his place in the promotion. The UFC has always been known for making tough business decisions, especially when fighters experience extended losing streaks. With only a limited number of roster spots available, consistent performances are essential for athletes hoping to remain part of the organization. 3 straight defeats often place fighters under serious pressure, and many understand that every appearance inside the octagon can determine their future. Although the news may disappoint Harris and his supporters, many fans are not completely surprised by the outcome. Given his recent results and the competitive nature of the welterweight division, speculation about his future had already begun following the loss to Matthews. The official roster move simply confirmed what many had expected. Even so, Harris still has valuable experience competing against high-level opposition, and his journey in mixed martial arts is far from over. Many fighters have rebuilt their careers after leaving the UFC, finding success in other major organizations before eventually earning another opportunity on the biggest stage. Whether Harris chooses to continue competing internationally or work his way back through impressive performances elsewhere, he now begins a new chapter in his professional career with the goal of proving he still belongs among the sport's elite competitors. Move on to another news. Colby Covington has once again stirred up controversy with a series of sharp comments aimed at Dustin Poirier before quickly shifting his attention to his upcoming freestyle wrestling match against Arman. Known for his outspoken personality and relentless trash talk, Colby used the opportunity to fire verbal shots at multiple targets while promoting his next appearance. Addressing the recent reaction from fans, Colby said he had received plenty of feedback regarding his earlier remarks about Dustin. He acknowledged the discussion surrounding his comments, but continued delivering his trademark style of promotion, refusing to back away from the headlines. As always, Colby embraced the controversy and kept the spotlight firmly on himself. After briefly mentioning Dustin, Colby turned his full attention to Arman, whom he is scheduled to face in a freestyle wrestling event on July 18th. Confident as ever, Colby predicted that he would teach Arman a hard lesson and claimed his opponent had enjoyed an easy path throughout much of his career. According to Colby, that advantage is about to disappear when they finally meet in competition. Colby continued by describing Arman as someone who has always had opportunities handed to him, insisting that the upcoming matchup will be a reality check. He promised to expose Arman in front of the fans and expressed complete confidence that he would walk away with the victory. The former interim UFC champion made it clear that he has no doubts about his own abilities heading into the event. Not stopping there, Colby expanded his trash talk beyond Arman himself and also took aim at people close to his opponent. He used several sarcastic remarks in an attempt to provoke a reaction and generate even more attention for the matchup. This type of promotion has become a signature part of Colby's approach throughout his career, often creating as much interest outside the competition as the contest itself. Love him or hate him, Colby understands how to keep his name in the headlines. Every interview, social media post, and public appearance becomes another opportunity to build anticipation and create discussion among fight fans. His confidence remains unchanged, and he appears fully committed to backing up his words when he steps onto the mat against Arman. With the event drawing closer, the rivalry continues to build, fueled by Colby's relentless confidence and non-stop trash talk. Whether fans support him or hope to see him humbled, one thing is certain: Colby has once again made sure that all eyes are focused on his next appearance. Move on to another news. Conor remains as confident as ever, ahead of his highly anticipated return, insisting that he is far fresher than most fighters currently competing at the highest level. Despite spending an extended period away from active competition, Conor believes that the time away from the octagon has actually worked in his favor rather than against him. While many fans continue to question whether such a long layoff could affect his performance, Conor sees the situation from a completely different perspective. According to Conor, the break has allowed his body to recover from years of intense training camps, brutal fights, and constant pressure. Instead of accumulating more damage inside the cage, he believes he has preserved both his physical condition and his mental sharpness. He explained that many fighters return after taking time off feeling refreshed, but he believes his situation is even more beneficial because of the amount of recovery time he has enjoyed. During a recent interview, Conor also took subtle shots at other fighters currently making their own comebacks. Without holding back, he suggested that many of his rivals have continued taking punishment throughout their careers, while he has had the opportunity to heal and prepare without absorbing unnecessary damage. In his opinion, that gives him a major advantage over opponents who have remained consistently active. Conor also made it clear that he is entering this next chapter with complete confidence in his abilities. He rejected the idea that he is approaching the end of his career and instead insisted that he is only now entering his true prime. While many athletes begin to decline with age, Conor believes his best years are still ahead of him because of his renewed motivation, improved preparation, and healthier condition. He emphasized that his current mindset is built around long-term success rather than short-term achievements. Instead of focusing on what he accomplished in the past, Conor is fully committed to creating another championship run and proving that he can once again compete with the very best fighters in the world. Although critics remain skeptical about how he will perform after such a lengthy absence, Conor appears completely unfazed by the outside noise. He believes his speed, power, fight IQ, and overall freshness will separate him from the rest of the division when he finally steps back into competition. With unwavering confidence, Conor is convinced that his time away has prepared him for a successful comeback, and that the next phase of his career will be his strongest yet. Move on to another news. Ian Garry has made a big move outside the octagon by officially signing with Eddie Hearn's Matchroom talent agency ahead of UFC 330. The announcement has attracted plenty of attention across the MMA world, especially because the agency has already expanded its presence in the sport by working with several high-profile athletes. The signing also adds another UFC star to Eddie Hearn's growing list of clients, continuing his push into the mixed martial arts business. The news comes at a time when discussions surrounding Eddie Hearn and the UFC remain intense. While Dana White has repeatedly been asked about Hearn's involvement in MMA, the Matchroom founder continues making strategic moves that keep his name in the conversation. With Ian Garry now joining the agency, the relationship between Matchroom and several top UFC fighters continues to grow. Matchroom Talent Agency confirmed the signing publicly, making Ian Garry the second UFC fighter to join the company after Tom Aspinall. Following the announcement, Garry celebrated the partnership on social media by declaring that the future had officially joined the agency. He expressed his excitement about expanding Team Future and explained that Matchroom would now work alongside his existing management team to help develop his commercial opportunities. According to Garry, the partnership is designed to strengthen his personal brand outside of fighting while opening new business opportunities. The focus is not on changing his fighting career, but on expanding his profile through sponsorships, endorsements, media appearances, and other commercial ventures that can increase his long-term value as a global athlete. Eddie Hearn later spoke about the signing and explained why he wanted Garry to become part of Matchroom Talent Agency. He revealed that he personally reached out because he had followed Garry's career for quite some time. Hearn praised Garry's confidence, charisma, communication skills, and marketability, saying he believes the Irish contender possesses all the qualities needed to become a global superstar. Hearn also clarified that Garry's agreement is completely different from the arrangement with Tom Aspinall. While Matchroom has assisted Aspinall with certain UFC-related matters, Garry's deal is focused exclusively on building his public profile and increasing commercial revenue through partnerships and brand development. According to Hearn, the goal is to maximize Garry's earning potential outside the cage while allowing him to remain fully focused on his fighting career. With UFC 330 approaching, Garry continues to build momentum both inside and outside the octagon, positioning himself as not only a top contender, but also one of the fastest rising personalities in the sport.